The Bible, star of gladness gleaming, to cheer the wanderer lone and tempest-tossed. No storms can hide that radiance peaceful beaming, since Jesus came to seek and save the lost. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible when my heart is broken, when sin and grief have filled my soul with fear. Give me the precious words by Jesus spoken. Hold up faith's lamp to show my Savior near. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible, all my steps enlighten, teach me the dangers of these realms below. That lamp of safety o'er the gloom shall brighten, that light alone the path of peace can show. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Give me the Bible, lamp of life immortal, hold up that splendor by the open grave. Show me the light from heaven's shining portals, show me the glory gilding Jordan's wave. Give me the Bible, holy message shining, thy light shall guide me in the narrow way. Precept and promise, law and love combining, till night shall vanish in eternal day. Break thou the bread of life, dear Lord, to me, as thou didst break the loaves beside the sea. Beyond the sacred page, I seek thee, Lord. My spirit pants for thee, O living word. Bless thou the truth, dear Lord, to me, as thou didst bless the bread by Galilee. Then shall all bondage cease, all fetters fall, and I shall find my peace, my all in all.
Good afternoon. The old prospector here. Hello, Laura. Good afternoon, Reba. We are in the midst of a nice, lovely shower. Lovely shower. And I'm trying to do all sorts of tagging because my tagger is gallivanting around with his mother. And so I'm getting this done. And I hope that if he's watching this stream, that he doesn't do the tagging because I'm doing the tagging. How you doing, Heather? Good to see you here this afternoon. Let's see here. Oh, I forgot one. I'll take you home again, Kathleen. This phone's really weird and how it does things. And Alicia is on text, so she's the one doing the hi, Reba and Laura. Don't forget Heather in there, Alicia. Hello, Craig. How you doing? Well, I see that since Reba's here, I'm not going to tag her. Should I? No. The dog is looking at me very much in askance because I am in his chair that he loves to lay in when it's raining. Sorry, pups. You're not getting the chair. I know it's wet. I didn't make it rain. So I think that's about all that I can remember off the top of my head. So it'll have to do. All righty. At least it's not driving clear up here to where my chair and all my electronics are. That's a good thing. But the humidity in the air is making everything sticky, even my hands. There appears to be a hole in my mouth. water is wet. Yes, most of the crops that the farmers are in around here the corn is already about shoulder height, between waist to shoulder height. I'd say actually pretty close to waist. Yeah, about waist height. Hello again, Sister T. The beans are up. Of course, they always lag behind the corn, but then again, they usually are harvested a little bit earlier than the corn. And they're probably ankle height at least. The old rule of thumb around here in farming is that you want your corn knee high by the 4th of July. And we can say with all honesty that that is the case, except in my sweet corn. Thank O'Shea, I got it in a little late. So, but I think I can see his sunflowers from here. They're growing pretty nice. If that's his sunflowers, I'll have to ask him when he gets home. I'll take you home again, Kathleen. All righty, well. Someone has got a couple pieces of cardboard over there that they haven't picked up, sitting right under the drip edge of the roof. And it drips and it's hitting the cardboard and it makes a lovely sound. Well, are you a gardener? I saw an interesting plant yesterday or the day before when I was perusing my Facebook shorts, reels, whatever you want to call them. Because I have a big interest in gardening, they've begun showing me all sorts of gardening videos, short reels. And one of them yesterday, the day before that came up. Hello, Mickey. That's my water. You want water? There's some water over there. Yep. One of them that came up was someone has taken the time to graft a tomato plant onto a potato plant. It's like, really? Now, understand that tomatoes and potatoes are the same family. They're of the nightshade family. So when you plant them in the garden, you never plant them together. Laura says, pulling weeds and working in the flower garden was always a punishment given from my mother to help me, and it just isn't my thing. I don't care for yard work, but you give me heavy machinery and I can do that. There is a certain joy, and I know what you're saying about the punishment working in the gardens and stuff, pulling weeds from the flower beds and etc. Because it was not a fun task to do. It wasn't necessarily just a punishment per se. You want to come up here? Come on up. Come on up, Nikki. Come on up. Oh, you like that, do you? Like this? No, I'm not going to fetch you way down there. It was just a chore that had to be done. Growing up, we had a 10-acre truck garden, a produce farm, as the modern day terminology would call it. Hello, Betty. Good to see you. And so we had to weed. That was our livelihood. Not only did we use it for our own sustenance, but we sold produce for, so we could have clothes, etc. So it had to be done. Didn't mean we had to like it. Do you keep flowers in like flower pots in your windowsill? Just out of curiosity. But it was kind of interesting in this. They took the time to actually graft a tomato plant onto a potato plant, two plants that have a very short lifespan, and they're going to graft them together. Hey, Sister Debbie. O'Shea got some potting soil, and we planted our ginger. Let's see if I can show you. The these are two ginger plants. You can see them right there. One there, and there's another one right behind it. And he planted these ginger plants, and the last couple of days he's been out here looking, and lo and behold, there was mushrooms growing in this. So there was mushroom spores in the potting soil. Really? It's not. We don't want these toadstools. No. We have. Uh, Depending upon where it's at, Laura. Uh, which. Well, anyway, we have hostas out here because we have this lovely shady maple tree right out here. No, we haven't yet, Teresa. I'm getting to it. But we have hostas right here in the front, and I'm hoping Alicia has the Bible ready to go. Yes, she does. Good job, Alicia. We don't care for them at all. We don't do anything for those. We're going to revamp this bed when I get ready to do the work here this summer, which we need to get onto. But anyway, but Lord waters them. Ah. There you go, buddy. Spider. All right. Well, Let's go ahead and let's grab our axes and picks and shovels. Well, I don't know what we need axes for, but let's get our picks and shovels and head down into the vein, shall we? We're going to be reading from Psalm 41, or 48 rather, a song and psalm for the sons of Korah. And here we read, Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised in the city of our God, in the mountain of his holiness. Beautiful for situation is the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion. On the sides of the north, the city of the great king. God is known in her palaces for a refuge. For lo, the kings were marveled. Hey, you ran too fast. For lo, the kings were assembled. They passed by together. They saw it, and so they marveled. They were troubled and hasted away. Fear took hold upon them there. Let me read that again. Fear took hold upon them there, and pain as of a woman in travail. Thou breakest the ships of Tarshish with an east wind. As we have heard, so have we seen in the city of the Lord of hosts, in the city of our God. God will establish it forever. We have thought of thy loving kindness, O God, in the midst of thy temple. According to thy name, O God, is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. No clause. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments. Walk about Zion. Go round about her. Okay. Tell the towers thereof. Mark ye well her bulwarks. Consider her palaces, that ye may tell it to the generation following. For this God is our God forever and ever. He will be our guide unto death, or even unto death. As we look for nuggets in this city, or in this city, in this psalm, we notice first that this psalm is about God and Zion, about God and his city. Zion is only praised because it is the city of God. God is praised. God is holy. Therefore, wherever he is holy. Be it the city, be it the mountain, be it you and I. God is holy, and therefore where he is will be holy. When Peter said that we are to be holy for God is holy, it is because we are to be the dwelling place of God. Remember that Jesus said in John 14, verse 23, that when we do what God says, when we do the commands that Jesus has said, then God will come and make his abode in us. As Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 18 through 20, or 19 and 20, rather, we are the temple of God and of God's Spirit, and it dwells in us. Therefore, we can be holy, but only because God is in us. So Zion is holy because God is there. And we are the abode of God. There's one nugget. Keep scrolling, Alicia. Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion. On the sides of the north, the city of the great king. God is known in her palaces for a refuge. Everyone in the city, everyone knows that God is the refuge of Zion, of those that dwell in Zion. God is her refuge. God is our refuge. We can take comfort. We can take peace. We can take delight and strength in the fact that God is our refuge. So if we run to God in our time of need, God is there for us. Thank you. That's cold. Mhm. Verse 4, Alicia. 1 Corinthians 6, about verse 18, 19, 20, somewhere right in that neighborhood, Teresa. Notice that kings assembled. This is kings that were assembled as to war. They passed by together. They saw Zion and they marveled. They were so marveled. They were so awestruck. They were so troubled by what they saw. They ran away. Why? Because God is Zion's refuge. Is God your refuge? He should be. Since God is our refuge, remember what James said in James chapter 4. When James said to his readers, let me bring it up. We talked about this yesterday just a little bit. In James 9, nope, James 10. Nope. I'll get it right. Let's read 7 through 9. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted and mourn and weep, and let your laughter be turned to mourning, your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. James says this, James 7 through 10. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God, your refuge, in other words, because when you do and you resist the devil, he will flee from you, just like those kings fled away from Zion because it was the refuge of the king, or of the King of Kings, of God, or rather, not the refuge of God. God was its refuge. Brother Sam is sleeping, and I think CJ is getting ready to do some sort of a response video. They were so scared that fear came upon them as of a woman in travail, a woman in pain, in the pain of delivery from pregnancy. God breaks the ships of Tarshish with an east wind. As if we scroll down here to verse 8, James 4, verses 7 through 10, Teresa. Ezra, would you show the note I have for 48, verse 8, please? I have some cross references here for Psalms 48, verse 8. They are Isaiah 2 and verse 2 and Micah 4 and verse 1. And this is the fact that God will establish Zion and Jerusalem forever. Go ahead and move those off. This is the prophecy of when Christ comes, he will be king. And he will establish his kingdom, and all nations shall flow unto it. when we read in Revelation how that it's in Revelation 21. I'll do it right before I'll get it before I do this. John says John, Revelation 21 verse 1. I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tear from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, no more, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. New heaven, new earth. Or as Peter says in the 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 13, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and new earth wherein dwells righteousness. God will establish forever. And welcome back, CJ. So your sister T was wondering where you were at, and now we have you. God will establish his kingdom, his throne forever. So we have so far for our golden nuggets, just as a brief recap, since CJ just came back in and I just tried to scroll back up the Bible. Alicia, back to verse 1 real quick. I want to point out again that God is holy, and where he dwells is holy because God is holy. So therefore, when he dwells in us, we are holy. We can be holy like he is holy, as Peter said. Let me get that. That's in 1 Peter chapter 2, I think. No? There it is. 1 Peter 1:16. Because 15 and 16, but as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation, because it is written, Be holy, for I am holy. 2 Peter 3, verse 13. Teresa. So God is holy. Zion and Jerusalem were holy because God dwelt in them. We can be holy because we have become the abode of God when we do the things that God commanded, as John chapter 14, verse 23 says. As 1 Corinthians chapter 6, that's verse 19, isn't it, CJ? Yep, 19 and 20. And then Again, tying in with this one as well, be holy for I am holy. 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 16 and 17. Or 15 and 16, rather. 1 Peter 1, 15 and 16. So we can be holy because God can dwell in us. Secondly, God was the refuge of Zion. The kings were assembled, as it were, to war. And yet they recognized that God was Zion's refuge, and they were scared. They ran fleeing. They were trembling. They were so scared that they were in pain, as a woman who is being delivered of child is in pain. Going back, okay. And then we saw in verse 8, and tying that into us today for our nuggets, God is our refuge. We can flee to him for refuge, for strength, for sustenance. We can, if he is our refuge, that is the reason why the devil will flee from us, as we read in James chapter 4, verses 7 through 10. We also saw in Psalm 48, verse 48, that Shua put the cat down. Why don't you pet Mickey?
I've never read that in my Bible. Shua put the cat down.
Mm. Yes, it is. It is found in it is found in the book of Isuzu 15, Isuzu chapter 15, verses 32 and 33.
Aha. Don't think I have that one.
I think that's one of the lost books that the Vatican has. Anyhow, okay. All jesting aside, God will establish his new city, his throne, his new land, his kingdom, new heavens, new earth, forever. As we saw, if you read Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 2, as well as Micah chapter 4, verses 1 through 4. Okay, so we keep moving down then. All right. We have thought of thy loving kindness, O God, in the midst of thy temple. According to thy name, O God, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Verse 11 is the next nugget I want to look at. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments. As children of the King, we should be rejoicing. We should be glad because of God's judgment. For understand that with God, because we have been forgiven. What? Okay, fine. What's wrong, Mickey? I can't hold on to you up here on my big fat belly. I'm inundated by big, large Tomcat. Okay, Mickey, you're interrupting the class. You're interrupting the Nuggets. Is that better? Okay. We should be glad, happy, and praising God. We should be rejoicing because the judgment of God has changed in our favor. Christ has redeemed us. We have been bought back with a price. We are no longer held under bondage of sin. We are no longer held under the punishment of death. We have much to rejoice over, right? So let's rejoice. CJ offers up Galatians chapter 3 and verse 10. Which, let me jump there. Mickey.
Meow. Your kitty loves you. Meow. Ah, so fluffy.
He is the survivor of many battles. What do you see? Phew.
So cute, Teresa says.
He's also a heavy load. Let me see if I can show you this one. Do you see him?
Aww. So cute.
That is Boris.
Hi, Boris.
He's playing with his tail. Okay, come on. All right.
Back on track, Levi.
Back on track. Cuteness overload done for the day. Yeah, I did too. He is not much help in collecting nuggets. No, you're right, Betty. Oh. Okay, Galatians 3, and what was the passage you put up there? 10. For as many as are the works of the law are under the curse, for it is written, cursed is everyone that continueth not in all things that are written in the book of the law to do them. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God is evidence, for the just shall live by faith. Verse 11. Verse 13 is, I think, what really is the one that we wanted. CJ, Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is every one that hangeth on a tree. Christ has redeemed us. We've been bought. The judgment of God has turned in our favor. Rejoice. Paul says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, rejoice evermore. Verse 16. Rejoice evermore. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments. Mark ye well her bulwarks, consider her palaces. Verses 12 through 14, the end of the end of the psalm. Walk about Zion, go round about her, tell the towers thereof. Mark ye well her bulwarks, consider her palaces, that ye may tell it to the generation following. Why? Because for this God is our God forever and ever. He will be our guide even unto death. Tell the greatness of the city of God. Tell the greatness of the kingdom of God. Because God will guide us forever. God will establish his kingdom, his glory forever and ever. He will guide you and I even unto our death. And that's what's so beautiful about it, because even in our death, he will be with us and will take us to that eternal kingdom. Some wonderful nuggets to put in our jars, so that when we stand before the great judge and he assays the golden nuggets in our jars, you will hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant, enter into the joy of your Lord. The old prospector here reminding you, there be gold in them there pages. I'll see you on the next adventure. God bless.